Okay, y'all, we are here. I have not done one of these little on the side episodes in a while. So my name's LaGina. I'm the host of LRI Infinity Let's Talk. LRI Infinity Let's Talk to Men About It. And LRI Infinity Let's Talk on the Side. You know that the Let's Talk podcast family is all about normalizing conversations in, around, for, and through women. Women. And so I'm excited today because I decided, because I'm not the best solo podcaster, that I'm going to just keep bringing people on. I moved through my podcasting journey, and the person that I have on today, oddly enough, I've met twice, but she's my cousin. And like, when I tell you blood, boy, like me and her thick as thieves, you couldn't tell me I haven't known her my whole life. This is going to be a follow-up episode to if not dating apps, then what? So a lot of y'all who were like, dang, you're an expert in dating apps, you need to keep talking about it. Okay, so I'm the residential single woman, entrepreneur, no kid badass. And so now I'm going to bring on my cousin, who is the epitome of achieving what I said could happen on a dating app. So I want to welcome onto the mic my cousin. What up, cuz? How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. I'm excited to be talking about this today.
Y'all, she told me this story and I was like, girl, we got to have you on Let's Talk on the Side. So first, let's talk about like our journeys with dating apps. So I talk about in Let's Talk on the Side, you know, the episode, if not dating apps, then what? We talk about dating apps and I go through all of them. The T's, the B's, the ones where you can swipe and the guy has to wait for you. I've talked about the .coms back in the day. I talked about throwing those out the window and doing the bar scenes. So what has been your like experience as a single Black hetero female in this world? What has been your journey?
Dating for me hasn't been the easiest. I'm pretty reserved. So I'm not really the type to go out and, you know, try to like meet someone out at a bar or a party or anything like that. A lot of people I've met like through friends or like extended or social networks. You know, the world has changed and finding different ways to interact. Like I always thought I would go to the grocery store, I'd reach for my box of cereal and boom, my husband would show up.
Girl, me too. I have always thought that. I'm like, okay, it's just, you know, at some point it's just going to happen. Like, I'm just going to be like spinning in a circle and then all of a sudden I'm like, boo. Ah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. How did you originally get onto like dating apps? Because I'm not reserved and I am, you know, bartended for 13 years. I'll go out and party with the best of them. Mm-hmm. I actually hang out with mostly men. So I meet a lot of guys, but more in the realm of friendship. Mm-hmm. And maybe them seeing me as a homegirl and not like, I don't know what the other end of it is because I want my partner to be my best friend. So I don't understand the differentiation and why a guy wouldn't want his woman, his partner to be his homie. Mm-hmm. But that's a whole, I'll save that for Let's Talk to Men About It. But in general, how'd you get to dating apps?
Yeah, so like I have friends from like high school and college who actually have met their partners on dating apps. And I was just always like, oh, I don't need to do that. I'll meet somebody out in the streets. You know, I was in the streets back then. And then I started a job as a consultant. So I was on the road Monday through Thursday, like first flight on Monday morning, not coming home until Thursday at night. And I was like really tired and I'd moved to a new city. So I'm in Dallas and like socializing here isn't necessarily the easiest if you don't have a network. I think it's getting better, but I didn't really have like a large friend group when I first got here. So I didn't really know like how to navigate and where to meet people or meet the type of people that I would want to date. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, well, I guess let me get this little free account on Match.com. That was my foray into it. So I did have a relationship from Match.com, which was like just the experience of being on a dating app. And I think as a Black woman is difficult. Like you'll see a lot of Black men say like, I like white, Asian, Latina, like everybody but Black. or like they're very descriptive in what they like, which excludes you, or the pictures that they put up, like they make sure that they have proper placement of non-Black women. So you're just like, okay, cool. He's not interested in like my type. So
I talk about this a little bit on the episode, If Not Dating Apps, then What. I touch on it a little bit about the fact that like you can see in pictures what's going on. You can see it. And I actually have noticed that too, probably a lot less now that I'm in Houston. But when I was like living in Austin, it was very obvious when I was on the dating apps, and prior to dating apps, the .coms, the match.com, the blackpeoplemeet.com, all those, it was very obvious. Like you would, and not saying that like, because I don't even need to do this caveat, but shit, my friends are like the rainbow coalition of what the world would look like if the world was seen through my eyes all the time. But when you're talking about a dating app and what you want people to see and understand about you via pictures, like if I'm squatted, legs popped open, and you can see a little bit of panty, okay, we know what's up, right? If I have a picture of a puppy, you know what's up. If like I'm going skydiving, you know what's up. If I am pictured with a whole bunch of white boys all the time, you know what's up. So vice versa with dudes, everybody around you is like, even if it's Black women and they're skinny Black women or smaller framed, or they have a lot of makeup on, or they wear a lot of whatever it is, like, and not in dress up occasions, just like all randomly all over the place. You kind of have to understand that is what you're portraying that you want, because the picture is either of you showing people who you are, or it's of things that you do, what you like, who you hang out with.
So some of the things for me, like travel is essential to like who I am as a person. So whether or not they have pictures, like traveling out and about, I'm mindful of people who have photos with children, just because like I think it's good transparency to share whether or not you have kids. Like a lot of people are open to that, but I may not be.
That's interesting that you say that, because the older I get, I don't think I've ever actually minded. No, I haven't. I've never actually minded a guy with kids, people with kids. I love kids. They're great and everything else. It's usually the situation with the person that they have the children with and what that looks like. But I am very much of the mind that I'm not comfortable with people posting pictures of their kids on dating apps. I think that's a bit weird.
I think it's weird too. And I think there's a way to like, you could put it in your profile. You can say you
have a damn kid.
Right. But then there's also people who are like, my children are my world. They will always come first. Moving on. Like your kids should be a priority, but then you're also on a dating site and you're telling me that like, I ain't gonna have time for you. So then it's also like, do I even want to put myself in this situation where we're going to have to like work through balancing priorities? And I don't think there's anything wrong with putting your kids first, but you're
it's
also
the delivery.
So
the pictures, like standard to me is that I think it's weird when you have pictures of your friends, because, facial recognition is not a computer software when it comes from the eyes. So why are you going to have pictures of your friends with you? I think maybe one picture with your family is fine. But again, I'm all about this like consent thing. You're on a dating app. I'm not dating your family, your kids, or anything else. So pictures of just yourself work really well for me. I don't give a fuck if you got tattoos and everything else. Because again, y'all listen to my podcast. Y'all know, like, I just need my rider. I need my partner. I need him to be fine in my eyes, loyal to me. I need to be able to be trusting to him and loyal to him so I can be his fan and he can be mine. So I don't mind. But I be looking in the background. I'm like, okay. But it's all about like what you write in your profile, right?
One other thing with pictures, people who only have selfies of themselves.
Nope. Bad idea.
Right. I did get height fished one time. I don't know if there's a term for that.
What?
Height fished.
That's another one. Okay. When men don't put their height, I know that they have a Napoleon complex, because short men, that don't care that they're short,
we'll put it on there.
So y'all, if you're listening, just a variety of photos. I try to keep it to one like in a dress, one in my workout stuff, like a day-to-day one with my hair froed up and one with it down, just so you can see a variety, a couple of them selfies, make sure we get the full body yaddy shot. Like, what was your standard regimen?
I think I had one of me in a gown. I had like a fun one of me like riding an ATV. I had like one that was like shoulders up, but all of them were just like fun pictures, me outside, like genuinely having a good time. They were all candid photos, taken on an iPhone, which somebody actually was like, are these professional photos that you took for Tinder? And I was like, I'm just here on a free account. Like, it's not that serious to me. But I think just like showing your personality and like what you enjoy through your profile is really important to making sure you find a good match.
Okay, so I know y'all hear us saying had and was and all this stuff because my cousin was on Tinder and now she is not. So Nicole, tell us about your COVID experience and how you got to where you are now.
Yeah, so I think I got on since we've been in COVID, I was on dating apps twice. I think like in May, around the beginning of summer. And I was just like using it to kill time, swiping aimlessly. I think I had Bumble and Hinge. And I would like use those and just swiping, and you would see the same people on both pages, sometimes a different picture, sometimes someone you swiped left on and you would see them on the other page, or someone you talked to and unmatched and you see them on the other one, awkward. And then I was just like, I'm not pressed for this. Like, I don't mind, like being single isn't like a terrible thing to me. I enjoy time by myself. Like I was just living my best life in my house, just having a grand old time like during COVID. So I was just like, okay, like I don't think I'm gonna meet anybody because I'm not going outside. So I'm gonna just make the best of like what I have here. I don't need to be on these apps because honestly, it's just frustrating.
Yeah.
And like I think another wave came, and I was like, I guess I'm gonna be in this house a little longer. Let me just find some more entertainment because I'm still not going outside. Like I put up my Christmas tree, Veterans Day. I remember very clearly because I was like, election time, like I need a little joy, put the Christmas tree up. And I was like, all right, let me download these apps again. So I was like, I'll try Tinder for the first time in my life, because I always associated Tinder with just like
hookups.
Yeah, which I know people who have actually met like a spouse or significant other on Tinder. So I don't even know why I still had that mentality, but I was like, all right, girl.
Yeah, I know people that have married from Tinder as well, but I didn't know Tinder was a straight people app. I thought it was like Grindr and Adam for Adam or Scruff, because I associated it from working at the gay bars, because Tinder and the gay bars is a hookup app too. So that was my association. So when I met a chick, and I talk about it, I think in season 1 at some point, I met a lady that got her husband on Tinder, but I still associate it with the hookup app too. Yeah.
So then I don't feel too bad. So yeah, I was just like swiping and just like meeting a bunch of people that I was just, or not meeting them necessarily, like engaging with them on the app that I didn't like necessarily love. I think I may have gone out on a couple of dates or something from it. And then I met someone in November. We talked for like a week. I actually almost unmatched him. So we matched on, I think like a Thursday, Friday. We were like, I think within 5 messages, he was like, can we video chat? And my antisocial self was just like, he wants to talk. And I was like, I just don't feel like it. It's Friday. Like Friday, I like to decompress, drink my wine. And I was like, should I unmatch him? We matched, or I let him call me through the app. We talked for like 3 hours. It was actually like a really fun, like easygoing conversation.
Wow. So why'd you almost unmatch him?
Because I was just like, why can't you just answer my questions that I asked you via text?
Like, and you know what? Guys get scorned on these apps, and I'm not saying us as women, we don't, right? Women
unreasonable, but for sure.
Yeah, but like it's now I'm dealing with like the 2021 phase of this dating app shit, and I'm seeing a lot more guys like at the beginning of their post be like, this goes without being said, but I'm not gonna buy you a purse, puppies, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I've talked to guys and I'll be like, hey, how are you doing? Because I'm like, kick it with the homie, we're adults. If we link up, we're gonna be adults. Like, we don't have to always talk about adult things to know that we're going to take it there. It's an intimate relationship, sex, whatever it may be. And so I'm just like, how's your experience been on dating apps? And guys be telling me crazy stories, like they get propositioned and all that stuff. And I'm not saying women don't, but I mean, I've gotten offered to do threesomes or guys like right off the front want a nipple pic, and I'm like, does that do something for you? Like,
oh my God.
I mean, my nipples are great, but like, what does that do for you? Like, especially if there's no connection. And I understand it's the smash and grab game, right? But like, I clearly in my profile, and I talk about this in the episode that I just recorded of Let's Talk to Men About It, I'm direct. So I tell you what I want. I'm open to having a partnership right now. People are like, what are you looking for? I'm not sure I'm looking for anything, right? Like, I'm not on this prowl for the man. I would love to be in a relationship partnership to get there so I can go into this next phase of exploratory things with this person I trust. But at the same time, I'm not like, okay, like, do. Like, that's not me.
Not the Nintendo, Super Mario.
Okay. So, keep going with this story.
So we talked for a week, and then we met up at a park the day before Thanksgiving. That was our first date. We played basketball and just like walked and talked. And then obviously COVID, like none of us we weren't doing anything like big. So I was actually going to stay at home, cook myself a nice meal, watch TV, sleep. And he somehow convinced me, like I was very adamant, I ain't coming to your house. Like, I don't know you. That is not who I am. And I don't want to come to your house for Thanksgiving. He was very insistent, like, you should come over for Thanksgiving. It was him, his cousin, and his cousin's then girlfriend, now fiance. They did not meet on an app. And I ended up going over there. We had Thanksgiving dinner today, and we just literally have like been thick as thieves since then. So it surprisingly, I'm very like reserved, like very controlled, like I control like what happens. And I think I don't know, I let myself go and let myself have a little too much fun, and it worked out.
Wow. Okay. So maybe I'll go into reserve mode. I'm going to try it. Okay. Because I will say this, like me and my cousin, we are probably like opposites outside of just our general thought processes, right? Like on the persona side, she is more reserved even the first time we met, but she's down though. So the first time we met, me and her sister, her sister, my cousin, I was going to say our cousin. I mean, we're all cousins, whatever. But Kendra, me and her, we went out here in Houston, and it was a great time. And we're very much, I was sitting there, I was like, God damn, this is family. Like, we were all sitting there, we all ordered, and we just like kicking it, not too much going on. Every now and then we're like, hey, and then we're like, okay, cool, chill. Like, it was cool. Like, something happened and we all looked like, okay, this motherfucker, okay, we can all go if we need to go. And then we were like, okay, cool, chill back again. So it's interesting you say that. So maybe my thing is I'm going to start being reserved. Doubt it, but
no, girl, just be you.
Always. That's the only thing I know how to do. Anything else is too stressful. Shit. Okay, so that was November, and then December. What happens in December?
So he actually needed to go to Houston for his niece's second birthday party. He was like, you should come down with me. I was like, first of all, no, COVID. Thank you though. Like, I had been in the house, like going out on Thanksgiving in close proximity with people I didn't know was already like stretching it for me. No, I don't want to go to a children's birthday party. Like, that's just ridiculous. But here I am driving down to Houston. So we go to Houston, go to this little party. We have a lot of fun. We like stay at the Woodlands. So that we had like a little overnight trip or whatever. And we like went to the mall. We had talked about like, we'd had like serious relationship talks just about like random topics. Like, how do you feel about marriage? How do you feel about children? Financials, things like that. So we went to Houston and we popped into a jewelry store and looked at diamond rings.
What? Okay, so
tell you this? Yeah, girl.
No, girl, y'all. I'm getting this story as y'all are getting this story, right? Like that. That's why, okay. So Thanksgiving, then 2-year-old's birthday party. COVID's going on, so that's kind of like an anxiety thing. You're stretching yourself out of this, your reservedness, and you're kind of just going with it. But I'm sure y'all had like COVID talks and like safety and all this kind of stuff.
We did, and people think they're safe and they're not. So when we got back from this Houston trip, we both came down with COVID. So between Thanksgiving and 2.5 weeks, or it was actually about 2 weeks later, we caught the COVID. Had the run.
The COVID. So, whew, all right, y'all. So met on a dating app, the Tinder. You almost was like no and unmatched him. Then at some point he convinced you to come to a dinner, the Thanksgiving dinner, which is like he's inviting you to holy sacrament stuff, like right from the jump. Y'all travel, safety, and this is the thing, like it does, like, and it's a black folks thing. We'd be looking like, you ain't got it. Like, you ain't got it. It's cool. And I'm just saying that because I'm a black woman, so I can say what I want about being black. Not everybody, but and so mask off, mask on, mask off, depending on who it is. Y'all get back to Dallas, y'all have COVID, and y'all are a whole 2.5 weeks into this, and y'all have had all kinds of met the family.
Yep.
Okay, so obviously, thank God y'all both survived COVID.
Yes.
And then what happened?
He went to California for Christmas and New Year's, which him and some of his family was actually trying to get me to come out there for that too. But I was really like, I'm still sick. So I had COVID and then I got bronchitis. So I wasn't really in a place where like I even felt comfortable like going outside of my house. Like while I may not still have had COVID, like I have this perception of being sick, and I don't want to be responsible for getting someone else sick, nor do I want to freak anybody else out, because I would freak out if somebody was, coughing up a lung near me. So I'd
be ducking. I'm like, oh.
So I just stayed in the house until January when he got back. So while he was gone, talked every day. And I mean, I found out shortly after he got back from California, he went to the jewelry store and went and found my little ring. Not little ring, because it's actually a beautiful ring, but
I was about to be like, don't do my cousin like that, because he got you a cute little ring. And I'm not saying little, it's a nice ring.
Yeah, it's a beautiful ring. So I mean, you know how they say when you know, I wouldn't even say necessarily that's how I felt. It was just so natural and comfortable. It was just a smooth transition. When we celebrated our 3-month anniversary, it was a 3 months from when we met, and that's when he considers our relationship starting. I don't even think we ever really said, so you want to be my boyfriend, you want to be we never had that conversation. It was more just let's start talking about when we move in together, we both own homes, how are we going to handle it. So it was just very fast, which I kind of freaked out about at first. Just because, like I said, I'm just so controlled, and everything happens at a pace that makes sense to me. Whereas I guess as marriage, it ain't just about you no more, right? So or a relationship. So then it just kind of progressed into that, and then at one point we went out for dinner. I forgot that it was our anniversary. I did not remember at the time, but we went to dinner, and he's just I'm so happy to be outside, because I'm I have my vaccines, but I still want to be conservative, stay inside. And he's the sun is shining, you can't get sick when the sun's out, plus we're immune, right? We're just two very different ends of it. So I feel I restrict kind of his freedom to live his best life outside with the allergies, and I'm inside hey, there's all these fun things we can do, let's figure out how to enjoy safely, like, as life is going on. So like we go out for dinner one day, he's just being very just extra, like, oh my God, the air smells so clean in here. I'm so happy to be out. The vibe is so nice, just like having a really great time. And then he actually proposed after dinner. So I think like the combination of us being together and like just so much time together, and us like talking through like our relationship, what we wanted, what the future would look like, things like that, I think kind of brought us gently and very easily brought us to a point where we felt like, you know, we were at a point where we can say like we were ready to commit to each other. Whereas I feel like if this was pre-COVID days, before a quarantine or stay at home, I absolutely would have been freaked out and would have ran the other direction.
Damn, this is crazy. Y'all, my cousin's engaged. Hey, ow. She got the ring and everything. All right, y'all. So, you know, like I said, maybe still dating apps. I don't know. I mean, I did just freshly get back on Bumble, so we will see. In my head, I still do in some way view them like a game, because, you know, you can swipe real fast. You get really good at it. And people are like, what are you looking at? I know what I'm looking for. Don't worry about it. On and on and on. Right? But, you know, some of the guys that I conversate with right now, I don't think I would have swiped right on them on the dating app. So, again, the universe will present how it does. My last little thing about dating apps that I'll say for now is, dudes, stop putting old ass pictures out. And I'm saying dudes because I'm a woman and I'm currently in this life hetero. So I'm saying, dudes, stop putting old ass pictures out of when you were in college and you were buff. I don't care if you got a little daddy belly going on. You know, I don't care if, you know, you have your COVID hair going on. Like, we can work past that stuff, right? Active does not mean you have to be an 8-pack. Now, I do love an 8-pack, but a belly works too with the right person behind it. So that's my thing. Y'all stop putting old ass pictures up on dating apps. Nicole, congratulations. Thanks for sharing your story and all that stuff. Y'all make sure that you, rate us up on All Real Radio. There's a little up arrow. Click on it and it rates us up in the ratings. Make sure you follow our new Instagram page for Let's Talk to Men About It. It's LRI, Let's Talk to Men About It. I know it's long. Type the shit in and it will pop up. Start following it. We are going to release all those Let's Talk to Men About It episodes to the podcast world starting April 15th. So shout out to all the guys that have made season 1 of Let's Talk to Men About It happen. If you are a male or a woman or an alien or anybody in between and you're interested in being on Let's Talk in any capacity, hit me up. You can DM me at LRI Let's Talk. And I would be glad to have a conversation. Nicole, you got anything you want to share before we hop off the mic?
Yes. So one thing that I did differently this last time, like I have like very clear things in what I'm looking for. One of them is like, I don't like braids. I don't like long hair on men. My now fiance has like a little mohawk that he gets braided every now and then. And he had it braided in pictures. And I was like, whatever, let me just give this a chance. It's what else do I have to lose? And it actually ended up working out. So the one time that I actually stepped outside of like my comfort zone and put down my requirements, something amazing happened.
Step out of your comfort zone. Let amazing things happen as they do. You don't have to loosen your standards in order to step outside your comfort zone too. That's something that I am learning the more experience I have in life. Y'all, thank you for listening. My name is LaGina. You just heard Let's Talk on the Side. And as always, tell your story, be your own brand, live your truth, and stand in your moment. All right, y'all. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, God, country. Hey. Let's talk.